Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. It is nighttime for me, if you want to know, and it is the 20th of June. I don't know if I ever said the date for my first prologue episode thing, but I can tell you that I recorded that months ago in February or January. So my objectives still the same, but I am not as optimistic. Have I ever been? I don't know. But listen, I already knew that this was going to be a hot mess of a podcast if I actually really commit myself. It's still going to be quite a hot mess at the beginning, but I'm still going to go through with it because I need to do something with my life, and this is what I want to do right now. I need to do something, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just reading books and watching movies, barely. It's summertime, so that's what I mean. I am a student, I've said that before, but what I'm doing right now is very basically nothing, and I just want to do something. This is something I want to do anyways. If you want to know more about why I want to do this, it's in the dang first prologue, so go listen to that. But if not, then welcome. I think I've put all the movies in the title that I'm going to talk about, and I hope that I put some timestamps before, this whole thing, or in the description about what movies I'm talking about, because I'm talking about 4 movies today. This is really unplanned. This is very casual because I honestly can't really be bothered with writing out really good reviews. So I will be talking about 4 movies today, and those movies will be How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, Mid90s, Short Term 12, and Infernal Affair, the one that's made in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong movie, that one. Hello, this is Sabrina from the future coming to you to tell you that I screw up the name of this movie multiple times throughout the rest of this episode, and I apologize for that. It is not called Internal Affair or Internal Affairs, it's called Infernal Affairs. And this is the only time I'm going to come in and apologize for it. This is just a disclaimer. I'm sorry. I don't know how I screwed it up, and it's kind of embarrassing. But I'm not going to re-record that section of the podcast. So this is my formal apology for that. I don't know how I screwed it up. It's Infernal Affairs. Okay. And, while I'm at it, I'm sorry if I get any other information wrong. Sometimes, I'm just a little bit dumb. So, yeah. Okay. Right back to you. Sorry, I didn't list out any of the directors. We'll get to that. Don't worry. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. But we're just going to go through with this. Just to preface, I watched all these movies on a plane. So that can affect, first of all, how emotional I get towards movies. I get more emotional when I'm on a plane. I don't know why. And I just very silently cry. And that also affects the quality of the said movie, because obviously it's not that great when it's on a smaller screen and the quality's diminished, yada yada. Also, before I start anything, I want to remind whoever's listening to follow my letterbox, because I put all of my reviews up there. I'm using that word very generously, reviews. I put like a short sentence and I do a rating. So I'm going to also say those ratings now, today. And it's a rating out of 5. Ratings depend on each person. I'm not, so many mouth sounds. You guys, I listened over the prologue. When editing it, it was a nightmare. I don't want to talk about mouth sounds, but those are terrible, so difficult to get rid of. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry if you hear it and you're annoyed by it, but that's freaking life, dog, and I can't help it. I'm sorry. Okay. So as I was saying, it's a 5-star rating. I'm not going to get into it about how I really rate it, but just know I give 4 out of 5 stars for a solid movie, 4.5 when I really connect to it and it's a solid movie and I see basically no flaw. No, that's actually when I give a 5 out of 5. 4.5 is just solid movie and I really connect with it. And then 5 is when I think it's absolutely perfect and there are no flaws. And I would say I've become less of a harsh critic. I don't know. If something's solid, I'm like, might as well just give it 4 stars. 3.5 when I see potential. This makes me sound like such a pretentious person. Who am I to say any of this? But who is anyone to say anything? It's, you can't really critique unless you've been on the field, is what is a phrase, I think, or should be. Anywho, let's get into this because I've been recording for how long? I've been recording for 7 minutes and I haven't gotten into the first movie. I still have to preface some things. Just one more thing. I might be talking about a little bit of a book thing at the end. So if you don't want to hear that, don't listen to it. Don't mean to sound rude. I don't mean to, honestly. It's just how it is. This is really a hot mess of a podcast because I can't switch on the aircon because of the background noise. And so I am sweating and I feel gross and I'm getting hot flushes. So this might be a quickie, guys. Probably shouldn't say that. Doesn't sound good. Okay. So, first movie, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, directed by Dean DeBlois. Oh no, I did not check any of these directors' names, and I apologize. Dean DeBlois, or Dean DeBlois, Blois, came out this year. Did not see it in cinemas, although I wanted to. I think everyone has a soft spot for the How to Train Your Dragon movies because they're all very consistent. They're all very good. I think I put in my review on Letterboxd that I cried. I did cry. I cried at the end. It was very sad. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was beautiful. I really liked it. I don't actually have that much to say, and I'm so sorry. I just think it's really good the way they've done this trilogy. It's probably the most consistent trilogy out there for quality. You just know when you watch How to Train Your Dragon movie that you're in for a good time. I did have this thing where I realized that they replaced TJ Miller as a voice actor, and then they didn't put the replacement actor's name at the end credits when everyone else's names was shown, like in the cinematic credits, if you know what I mean. And I thought that was kind of funny or kind of like cheeky. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Is that all I have to say about this movie? I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's gorgeous. I don't know if it's because I watched it on the plane, but it did seem like it diminished in quality a little bit, but just the smallest bit. And I don't really think it actually did. It was still gorgeous. By the way, I should be reading the descriptions for these movies. I'm sorry. This is a hot mess. Did I say that already? It is. So I'm reading all the descriptions just from Letterboxd because I'm too lazy to make up one for myself. I'm so sorry. So it says, as Hiccup fulfills his dream of creating a peaceful dragon utopia, Toothless's discovery of an untamed, elusive mate draws the Night Fury away. When danger mounts at home and Hiccup's reign as village chief is tested, both dragon and rider must make impossible decisions to save their kind. Beautiful, man. And it definitely made me cry, because whenever frickin' Stoic, that's his name, right? Stoic, his father, popped up on screen in a flashback, I would damn cry my freaking eyes out, because I remember if you haven't seen the second How to Train Your Dragon movie, go watch it, because it's so sad. I did enjoy that one, I think, more than this one. I don't know why. Yeah, I think I remember seeing the picture for this when it first got promoted and advertised, and I thought, how silly, they're giving Toothless a mate. I've always seen Toothless as like a little cat, little boy, but actually it works very well. The light fury, as Astrid coins it, reminds me a lot of my cat, who is also white and has blue eyes. But she is not as graceful as this one. And also, oh gosh, when the freaking light fury like taps Toothless's face, my cat does that to my other cat. It's like actually just, it's amazing. It's cute. I love it. I don't really have that many critiques. Why not a 5-star, I guess? Would you say? I guess because I can't have a conundrum with a kids movie. I'm obviously not the target demographic, the target audience, but I'd still say I've loved all the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I rewatched the first one just out of nowhere. It was on Netflix, and I thought, why not? And I rewatched it. I really loved it. I think that's my favorite one, definitely. I think seeing Hiccup transform and get his confidence, great. I love it. I think it's difficult to have a movie centered around a person and not and keep that character development going when you're in a trilogy. I'm sorry, this is a bit off topic, but you kind of see it in Kingsman. I don't know if that makes sense, but you don't see that development, and so I lost interest. I love seeing a character develop. I think that was also my problem with Captain Marvel. No offense. I'm going to get into that later because Brie Larson's in one of the movies that I'm going to talk about. But anyhow, I still think there's character development in the How to Train Your Dragon movies, obviously, because, he struggles with letting go, and oh, it's so dang sad. I'm gonna freaking cry just thinking about it. Letting go of Toothless, knowing that he has to acknowledge what Toothless wants instead of what he wants. And I honestly thought, like, why not? Why can't they just live in harmony, dude? I don't want to see them separated. This shit's making me cry. But, the fact that I feel so emotional about it, and in the moment I was thinking, why not? Why can't they stay together? Just goes to show how good the writing is, the animation, everything that's drawing out these very real emotions from within. And I don't get that easily emotional, but on a plane I do. So what is my point? I still think it does a lot. It doesn't feel disingenuous at all. We have been following their friendship. It's so freaking sad that they have to separate, but it's so beautiful to then see at the end, spoilers, when they see each other with their children. I cried when I saw that. To see them both with children, it's great. Love it. I think my only qualm was that I want to see more development from all the characters. I think there is a show, also for children, that I can go watch, I guess, if I can't get enough of all the other characters. Because I guess some characters got a bit more of the spotlight in this one. Tough Nut, I think. Hang on. Snotlout. And Tough Nut, yeah, got a little bit of a spotlight. And freaking Kristen Wiig voicing Rough Nut, fucking hilarious, dude. I actually want to find that clip on YouTube just to laugh at it again. Yeah, I don't have many. It's hard to critique an animation. It's not really my field. But it's great, and I think I've talked enough about it, and I have really nothing else to say. Astrid, you really is that bitch, and I love you for the support, and everything's great. I honestly thought the mother would die, Valka, just because I thought, something tragic has to happen, but the tragedy the bittersweet tragedy was that they had to separate. And I think the only thing, I keep saying the only thing I have that's a problem. So obviously I do have a few problems, that's why I gave it a 4 out of 5. But it ain't that serious because I can still appreciate the movie. Wow, I completely forgot what I said. I was going to say that was a trail and I just don't know where the end of it is. So the only thing I want is actually quite selfish. I just want more, which sounds really bad. Like, I wanted to see more of the relationship between Toothless and Light Fury because I thought, wow, that was really quick, and yet they have fallen in love. But I guess, they just did, and they did have their time alone in the hidden world. I wanted to see more of the hidden world, but of course that isn't my world, maybe. I'm not a freaking dragon, dude, so that's not my world. And that's okay. This is me just reassuring myself. Okay, I think we need to move on. So yeah, my selfish thing is that I just wanted more. I feel like these movies are too short, but the thing is, they're animations. It's so selfish of me to ask for more because it's already difficult on its own. I do want to give a shout out to the part of the movie where they're not talking at all. Toothless, there's no dialogue. Toothless and Light Fury are in the clouds and they're having this date and it's cute and I love it and I was absolutely invested, and I think that is a testament to how great the animation is, how great the writing is in a weird way, like writing their love story. I don't know what I'm saying, but I loved it. I think we should move on now. We are really going to move on. Okay, so in a weird transition, the person who voiced Snotlout, Jonah Hill, directed our next movie, Mid90s. Okay, so here's the thing. Mid90s came out last year. It came out to a very selective, I feel like, very small number of cinemas in the US. I could never find it where I was in the UK. I think it also came out on iTunes, but iTunes US, so I couldn't even buy it on there. And I did really want to support this movie legally, so I just waited until I could see it. And I was shocked that it was on the plane, honestly. And I was thinking, no, I shouldn't watch this on the plane because it's shot in a way that would be way better appreciated in a cinema. But, I thought, I'm impatient. I want to watch it. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to. I just have to get that out of the way. I'm so sorry. I don't know who I'm apologizing to. Jonah, if you're hearing, I apologize. I promise you don't care, but just to give a description of the movie really quick. Stevie is a sweet 13-year-old about to explode. His mom is loving and attentive, but a little too forthcoming about her romantic life. His big brother is a taciturn and violent bully, so Stevie searches his working-class Los Angeles suburb for somewhere to belong. He finds it at the Motor Avenue skate shop. So I actually have notes. I took some notes on the plane, on some Post-it notes, because I had nothing else. So I'm sorry if you hear some ruffling, but that's me reading my notes. Just to give a sum up, though, it does largely center around male friendships, the complexities of that, which maybe I will never understand as a female. And this film, I can see, is very personal. Feels like specific things that probably either happened to Jonah Hill or something similar. Something similar to that. Sorry, my brain is breaking because I'm sweating so much. Yeah, I can appreciate this movie, but I have to say it didn't connect with me. I think that's the thing that gave me that made me give it a 4 out of 5 instead of a 4.5. Because it is really well shot. It's beautiful. I wish I will see it in the cinema at some point just so I can appreciate the quality of it more. I don't know what it's called. That kind of square ratio. I don't know if it's called Hollywood, like classic Hollywood ratio, but you know what I'm talking about, the square one. It's very artsy. A lot of people are into it nowadays. First Reformed, I see you, and I'm gonna watch you at some point. But yes, I ain't gonna argue. I would die for Stevie. He's a very sweet boy. I really wish he would have smiled more, but his life is pretty tough. I think I'm a person who needs to see a bit more of context in order to understand his life, because I had questions such as what time is this in the year? Because why doesn't he have school? Maybe it's summer. Why doesn't he have any friends whatsoever? Why does his brother seem to have more money than anyone else in his house? And I was also thinking, like, dude, why does the brother actually want to kill him? Like, this is serious and very scary. And for his mother being so sweet and attentive to him, I'm surprised that she's not punishing the big brother more. Or maybe she is. See, this is the thing. I need a little bit more context, a little bit more storytelling. And I'm sorry, like, maybe I'm wrong. Of course, everyone has their own opinion, yada, yada, yada. I can actually tell you some of the notes I made on these post-it notes, so we can get into specifics. But to surmise, the good was, it was still very heart warming in a way to see this boy being, very vulnerable and very naive, just wanting to be liked by his peers, taking that too far, but having that sort of, he just wants to be liked energy. I don't know what I'm saying, man. But I think we can all relate to that, even if you never had that childhood. Yeah, I just thought it was super sweet. I, in particular, liked Ray. Dang it, I almost said his name wrong again, because I wrote it down as Roy. Ray was a very sweet, very realistic influence, because obviously he wasn't just a do-gooder, like, don't give drugs to little Stevie, okay? He was showing that he wasn't approving of certain things that his friend fuckshit was doing. And I really like the part where he's like, dude, it's not gay to say thank you, it's just common manners. I thought, oh, yeah, you tell Stevie, you be his big brother, a good big brother, because later on he reveals that he did have a younger brother that died, so it makes sense how he's showing his care to Stevie in his own way. And I guess that's the main takeaway, is that you have to see all the subtle things that people are doing to Stevie to show that they care. Like at the end when all of them are waiting at the hospital to see if he's okay, when he first wakes up and his brother is there and he gives him an orange juice and nothing's said, but they have this mutual understanding of, like, they're brothers at the end of the day. So subtle things, right, that it seems males do to show that they actually do care about each other and ain't gay or whatever. I don't know. Sounds very cliche, these things that I'm saying, but they do hold some truth, I believe. Yeah, I liked the music. I wrote that down. I don't really know what specifically I liked about it. Sorry. I wrote down that the medium helps it feel like the time, and I really believe that because, it's supposed to be set during the mid-90s, am I right? And it's grainy, what else did I write? Oh, I put down that I wish I had subtitles just because there's a lot of mumbling going on, and personally I'm not very good at deciphering that. I'm sorry, man. Like, I am sorry, but I guess it's not completely important to get every single word. I think that's why I fucked up his name, though. I thought it was Roy and not Ray. Yeah, I think also the weird kissing scene weirded me out. It did weird me out. Tell me what you think about it, if you think it was weird, because I thought it was a little bit weird. He's so young looking. He's actually 13. I thought he was younger, because he just looks like such a little boy, and I'm just little boy. Yeah, I thought that was gross, and I wrote down, is this even legal? in the movie world it probably is, but I don't know if the freaking actress, but I guess, if both parents are on set and everything's a safe environment, it's okay, but still not turning into a thing. But I was like, ew, I didn't like that. Moving on, I wrote down that the punches sounded very loud and very fake. I think I noticed that almost immediately at the beginning of the film. This is such a little nitpick, like who cares about this? But I just thought it was kind of funny how loud they were in comparison to everything else. Okay, and so the last thing I wrote was, it seems like a lot of things are left unsaid with these male friendships, at least within this movie, and that these feelings do tend to build up and turn into something dangerous, like the end where they get into a car crash, because fuck shit couldn't talk to Ray and they couldn't communicate their feelings. I feel like a lot of that was repressed. It's a lot of repression, and I know this is so cliche. None of what I'm saying hasn't been said before, as in, nothing I'm saying is original, but this is what I see in the movies, definitely, that when they don't communicate, it just turns into violence. It gets repressed, it builds up, etc., etc. Yeah. So that's all I have to say. I liked it. I did like it as a whole, but it's maybe not for me personally. But for a directorial debut, I think that's why I also gave it a 4, because for his first movie, it was very impressive, and I can't wait to see more, honestly, especially things that are very personal, because you can tell it's personal and you can respect it. Okay, next movie is my favorite of all the 4 I saw on the plane. Short Term 12 fucking made me cry like 5 times, or maybe double, 10 times. Let me drink my water before I get into this. Okay. So I also have notes on this, but not as many, because I was transfixed by Brie Larson and the story. Let me read it out. And also, by the way, it was directed by Destin Cretton. I'm sorry. Came out in 2013. I've been meaning to watch this for so long, and I saw that it was on the plane, and I just thought, why not? I'm very bad at watching sort of slowish type movies. I put quotation marks around that word, slowish, because I might go on my phone if I'm watching at home. So on the plane, I thought, I'm going to watch this, I'm going to pay attention, and I'm going to get through it without being distracted. And I'm really glad I did that, because it was a beautifully simple, right to the point, but also explores the whole sort of kind of system of fostering. Not the whole thing, but it does have different areas that it is exploring and showing. Let me read the description, because if you don't know what I'm talking about, then maybe this might sound like gibberish to you. So, Grace, a compassionate young supervisor at a foster care facility, works with her boyfriend and colleague, Mason, to help at-risk teens. But when a new charge dredges up memories of her own troubled past, Grace's tough exterior begins eroding. I think that's actually perfectly described. So with this new arrival, this girl who seemingly might be experiencing abuse, we slowly learn what's going on with Grace's story, played by Brie Larson. Really all-star cast as well. I really like John Gallagher Jr. He was in 10 Cloverfield Lane. That's the only other movie I've seen him in, and I liked him in that. He's very, vulnerable and cute, and very warm. I think my only gripe with the movie was that his character was incredibly patient, to the point where I don't even know if that's realistic. But of course, when a couple has a certain history, you can't just let go of that in one day, in one argument. I also think that this movie is incredibly realistic. It feels like I am just seeing a snippet of someone's life. And I liked that. And it's not shot in the most, I don't know, astounding way, but it helps just tell the story. It is very sad, but it has a happy ending. It actually does. A realistic ending. Like, it's not amazing, obviously, that we find out that this new arrival, what's her name? Jaden, has been abused by her father. But once we find out that happens, that's the best ending, because then that can be dealt with and you can see that there will be a happy ending. Oh yeah, also Rami Malek is in this movie. Did I say that right? Rami Malek? I used to watch Mr. Robot, okay? I don't know why I just butchered that, but he's not even really a main character, yet I see him advertised as one of the main characters for this. I would say the three main ones are Brie Larson, John Gallagher Jr., and then Caitlin Dever. They have the most scenes. I don't know why this matters, but we see more of their stories, if anything. I just like how we slowly find out about Grace's past, why she is the way she is. It's great, and I love it. And I was crying so much. I wasn't crying at only Grace's story. I was also crying especially at Marcus's story. The actor's name, I'm going to butcher it. Lakeith Stanfield. That sounds right to me. He's been in movies. He was in Get Out, right? And he was in Sorry to Bother You, which it wasn't for me. But I can really appreciate him because he has sad eyes, dude. This guy just looks like he's always about to cry, and it makes me want to cry. Especially his rap that he sings in this. It's not really, he sings this rap to Mason, and it's about his, troubled past with his mother, and it's so sad. And then when he gets his head shaved, I'm gonna freaking cry. I'm gonna cry just thinking about it. But, you think it's a bit weird because you don't know why he wants to shave his head. And then it's revealed and you want to just hug him and you want to protect him. I think that's the really powerful thing about this movie is that it feels so real. And maybe, I don't have much knowledge about foster care facilities, but I hope it's something like this in a way. Obviously, the underlying reason why they're all there isn't great, but the way that we can see that they're a little family on their own. I mean, Grace says that they're not meant to be, a therapist or a friend. They're just creating a safe environment. But we can see through the movie that they are definitely being even more than that, more than a therapist, more than a friend. They're being really like family to these people and being so sweet and so caring to these kids. And the way I'm talking about it sounds like it's so real. And I guess, I'm repeating myself, but this is a testament to how good it was written. I think nothing is just completely spelled out for you in this movie, and that's great. No one's like, this person has a troubled past, blah, 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 context. You find out, and it's, I don't even know the full story of that kid with all the dolls, and I like that. You realize you get as much as you're trying to figure out from the movie, if that makes sense. You're not losing much if you don't understand that this kid probably has maybe lost his sisters, but you understand that it's incredibly sad that he got his dolls taken away from him. You know that that's sad on its own. I'm sorry if I'm not making sense, but I guess to surmise, it's really well written because nothing is just completely given out, and it feels like life in that way. Nothing's completely explained. So I do have my little notes here that I wrote whilst watching the movie. I wrote, Brie is still similar to her usual acting style. In Captain Marvel, she's just quite full of herself. And I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, did I even say what my rating is? This is all over the place. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5. Or did I give this a 5? I gave this a 5, bro. I gave this a 5. This was really good for me. And I loved it. But yeah, I loved Brie Larson in Room. Not The Room, right? Yeah, Room. Which also made me cry in her performance there, I don't want to say that she has a typical performance. A lot of people have made jokes about her and Captain Marvel being emotionless. I don't think it's that. I don't want to call her emotionless, but she's got a very, hard exterior. I think that's well explained in the description for this movie. She doesn't let it all out on her sleeve. She's a bit, keeping some of that in. I don't know why it just didn't work for Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel is a character that has to have a lot more confidence. I don't know, but I didn't particularly like Captain Marvel, and I didn't really like her as that role. She kind of annoyed me, and I'm so sorry, but this is how I felt watching the movie afterwards. I'm not going to get into it, but I kind of wish she never did that movie. I mean, good for her. It's a great opportunity. I just, I appreciate her more in these type of movies, which sounds bad because in these type of movies, she's not in the best situations in Room or Short Term 12. But I think this is where you can really see her flex her acting skills and make you cry. So I'm not going to say any more about that, but definitely she transfixed me in this movie, and she's just so sweet and so warm. You can see that, I think Mason says this in the movie, that she doesn't follow the same advice that she gives the kids, and your heart hurts just hearing that because you're like, oh my God, that's so true, and she needs to do that. Sorry, I'm not really reviewing these movies as if they are movies. I'm almost like, whoa, this is real life. But this gets me just quite emotional. It's very well written. Go freaking watch it, dude. Okay, let's go into the next post-it note here. It says, interesting that she turns into a teen when in the hospital. I like her in these motherly type roles. Why do I feel like why do I feel like he's going to die? And I was talking about Mason. I think because he's such a sweet character in the movie. And I'm not going to really elaborate. I do like her in these type of roles. I already said that. And I found it interesting that she doesn't say as much as, she doesn't do as much as she, tells the kids to do. Like when she's not as responsible when it comes to this whole baby thing, abortion thing, Okay, my last post-it note was, this is so wholesome. I feel like something bad is going to happen. I feel so soft. I loved it. Honestly, a 5. And I gave it a 5. I think I feel like something bad is gonna happen because I thought like something really bad had to happen. I'm glad in a way that this was a very simple, contained movie, if that makes sense. There's it's very clear, everything that happens. You can read more into it if you want, but it's great because you can kind of see that life isn't perfect at the end of it, but it does keep going. The end of the movie is them running after the kid again, and you can see that this is just life as well for them, but we've seen a huge hurdle that that Grace has taken. She's going to therapy, stuff like that. I think like therapy is a good thing to just put out there for anyone that can get it. I said no reason to improve. It's exactly what it is meant to be. It doesn't need to spell everything out. So I really highly recommend that one. That was my favorite of all the movies I watched on the plane. So moving on to the next movie, I talked too much about that one, I think. And I'm not going to talk about this one that much just because I don't really remember it. I was very tired when I watched this on the plane. And it is Infernal Affairs, directed by Andrew Lau and Alan Mack. It is about an idealistic police cadet, Chan Wing Yan, who is recruited by Police Superintendent Wong to go deep undercover as a member of the Criminal Triad Society. Into the same cadet class, crime boss Han Sam installs new Triad member Lau Kin Ming to become a long-term mole my goodness, long-term mole for the gang. A decade later, both have risen through the ranks in their respective aliases, but when both of their covers are in danger of being blown, a game of life and death ensues. I think I gave this a 3.5, and honestly, I wish I read this description before watching it because it moves really fast, and some of the subtitles I think were wrong. I don't want to play the blame game. I do think some of the subtitles were wrong, and it moved so quickly that I was just trying to follow what the heck was going on. So reading a description would have maybe been helpful for me personally. I like the way the film was shot. I mean, I like Hong Kong movies. I like Hong Kong, the city. And it definitely had more recognizable landmarks for me personally, being from Hong Kong. And I just felt like this wasn't that great of a movie for me. I don't know why, and I'm sorry, but it just didn't hit me in the same way as the other ones. Yeah, I think I was just a bit confused. A lot of screens were shown. I liked the ending of it, and I mean, the action was good. It was a lot of fun. I love the humor of it. It just didn't fully connect with me. And I honestly can't really remember much of it, which is a bad sign, I think. Yeah, I don't really highly recommend. This isn't my favorite sort of Hong Kong movie, if I can define it as one. I really like the actors, though, all of them. Love Tony Leung. His full name on here is Tony Leung Chiu Wai. I don't know if that is his full name, and I've just been butchering it, but I love him. Love him in all Wong Kar-wai movies, and he is very attractive. Same with Andy Lau in this, and also Anthony Wong. Thought he reminded me of a freaking Severus Snape sort of person for some reason. I think I do have notes on post-it notes somewhere, but I cannot find them. And I think I've actually been recording for long enough, so I am going to just start wrapping up now. I haven't really been saying whether I recommend these movies, if so-and-so, if you like this and this or whatever. I don't know if I should start doing that. I guess I need more feedback on this kind of thing. Like I've said before, this is going to be a hot mess. Prepare yourself, or don't. Enjoy the ride if you want. I know I am. Let me drink some water first. I was actually drinking tea, so that was a lie. But maybe I will start saying after a movie, after I say the rating. Would I recommend it to you if you liked this and this? Okay, so for Infernal Affairs, I would recommend it to you if you like movies like Taken, or I think there is an American version of this Infernal Affairs. So if you like that, then watch this one. But I think they're both kind of different, just similar, just the same name. I don't know. Maybe this is why I shouldn't do recommendations. Out of all the movies, though, I would say I really, really loved Short Term 12. And I should have watched it much earlier. I just think it is actually a really feel-good movie. And sometimes you just need those, okay? Mid90s was for me, but as in like a little bit up. And I'm sorry, man. I really wish I connected with it more. I could still very much respect it, though. Respect you, Jonah. I listened to this podcast he was in with Sam Jones, I think, and him talking about how he's always wanted to direct movies, and the way that he's actually done that is by working with all these directors through acting. I think that's super cool, and I don't have much else to say about that, but I do respect the guy. So I bless his future endeavors, because that matters so much for me personally. Anyways, I think that's it. That's me wrapping it up. Go watch How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. There's no way to support it now. I remember with the second movie, everyone was saying go watch it in cinemas because for some reason people weren't doing that. do that. I did for the second movie and the first movie. The third one, I was just in school and could not find the time. Also, no one has the freaking guts to go watch cartoon movies with me anymore. Animated movies, and that sucks. Just go watch movies by yourself. If no one else wants to, do it by yourself. Have a good experience. Don't care what nobody thinks about that. Yeah. Cool. So at the end of this podcast thing, each episode, I'd like to say what I'm going to watch next, but I don't really know. I have many lists, and I don't really know what I feel like watching. I'm in a different country now than I am when I'm doing school stuff. So the selection is different. It's a bit more limited, I have to say. I'm looking at Hannah, the movie with Saoirse Ronan, not the new TV show, because maybe I want to watch that again for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. Not much else to say. I was going to talk about the books I've been reading, but I don't have much to say about that. I finished this book called Normal People by Sally Rooney. I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Goodreads. I guess Goodreads as well, if you care about books. Go follow me on that. I really enjoyed it. I shouldn't really add any more to this podcast because it's going too long. I'm now reading The Two Towers, which is the second part of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I have to say the first book, by my goodness, was hard to get through. I'm sorry. There are parts of it which was fun, but as a whole, my goodness, I just haven't read trilogies in a while or book series, so it's difficult for me to get into. Also, it's got a lot of boring parts, and I'm sorry if you're a big Tolkien fan, but personally, it's just a bit difficult, but I'm powering through for some reason because I want to experience this series. I love the movies. Maybe I'm gonna rewatch the movies as I read the books. So maybe I'll be talking about that. So far, I'm not getting that far with this book, so I might change. I might read something else in the meantime to keep me going, because summer is the time of reading, my guys, and I can't wait. So I think that's about it for this episode. I've got 50 minutes worth of recording to edit. No one cares. This is my first time doing any of this, so again, I apologize for the mess that this all is. I don't really know what I've called these things yet, still, which is probably something I should do. Yeah. I hope you have a great day or week. Yeah, hope you have a good week. Whatever, rest of the week, beginning of the week. Good night and goodbye. Thank you for listening.